All right, let's do this. This is going to be a luxury car edition, an example of a very, very luxurious automobile. A limo even, if you want to be honest. Really like a limousine. And of course, I'm talking about the 600 Lexus. All right, welcome back to another episode of Watching Shoes. The watch on deck today is the Invicta Hybrid. Date, month. Pretty much got the whole calendar on lockdown. And then the shoes are the shoes I picked up in Ghana. They're still kicking. About a year and a half, 2 years later. The topic of the day is going to be the Lexus 600 HL, and that is 600, is it horsepower? Hybrid long edition. I think Lexus did a really good job of stretching this vehicle out and using some excellent architecture and design to not make it look like this is a big vehicle. It's an enormous vehicle. I've only been in one circumstance when I realized just how long this vehicle was. I was in a tight auto mechanic shop and I needed about 4 backups to get out because it really proved to be an enormous vehicle. But outside of that situation, typically it just doesn't look like a big vehicle. It's just an excellent design, excellently proportioned vehicle. So I wanted to look into some things that are often mistaken about this vehicle and or just left out. In the video Doug DeMuro made about it, he did a 2010, this is a 2008. He mentioned that it had a 1,200 page manual, of information available to you. And with that alone, you know that there's no way that you can get a precise YouTube video with 1,200 pages. Each page has something on it, so there's no way anyone's going to be able to cover that much information in a YouTube video. So I just want to brush over some of the stuff that I noticed people either forget to mention often or are mistaken about on the vehicle. Okay, so for one, I like to mention that these lights on the outside, they turn. So when you turn the steering wheel, they turn. And this is 2008. Always keep that in mind. It's an amazing amount of technology in this car for over 10, almost 15 years old. This hue that's on this thing often makes it look purple. I guess it's the base inside. But either way, it's just, extremely cool design. And Lexus really knocked it out of the park with these lenses, because all these years later, they still look cool. So, brilliant job there. This here is a radar. That is a radar. If you're turning left, right, whatever, on the interstate, it can actually keep up with the fact that you're turning and the car in front of you is turning, and it remains in your lane and it maintains the distance. I think that's pretty phenomenal. A lot of people by now probably grew up with radars. I didn't. But that is an awesome feature that lets you take your foot off of the gas pedal, but more importantly, it lets you keep the distance based on however long of the distance you want. 2008 now, just keep that in mind, because some of this might sound strange in 2020 that I'm even mentioning it, but it's 2008, and it could bring your car to a stop to keep you from hitting the car in front of you. So that's pretty cool, and get you back going. You never have to actually put your foot on the wheel. It's done a great job with me so far. The car is on, but I did want to go over something really quick, which was this cover system is not your typical cover system in that it does not prevent you from accessing the engine. You still have access to the engine. I've changed the filters in this engine, the air filters on each side, one on each side, and with no hassle whatsoever. So I know Doug mentioned that it's completely covered, but you still do have access to the engine. All right. There's a light that comes in like a floodlight here for when you're getting into your vehicle at night. And you also have the soft closed doors. I saw a video on YouTube that was really upset about soft closed doors. I found that to be hilarious. But yeah, this has soft closed doors all the way around, front and rear. And the trunk is also soft closed also. All right, so inside we have key not detected. It did detect it now. Here's a real cool feature for you. This seat is in the wrong position, and obviously they have memory seats. So I want to press my memory seat location. And look what it tells you right there. When operating the seat's memory function, fold the table down. It's saying fold the table down because it detects that the table for drinks and food and whatever you want to use it for is up. I find that to be flipping amazing. On more than one occasion, I would have broke that table in half, jumping in the car and reclining, but the car actually knows that the table is up. I also wanted to go over the fact that this glass is double pane. It's double pane, which is used to be called bulletproof glass, but it's two pieces of glass put together to create extreme quiet when you're driving. You have your DVD player in the front. A lot of people fail to mention that. It's actually a 6-disc DVD changer in the front. So you have your map navigation, and then you have HDD, which is a computer inside, hard drive, hard disk, hard drive, solid state, or whatever you want to call it, computer, internal computer, 2008. You can put hours and hours and hours, and I mean a whole lot more hours of music by loading your disc and telling the computer to copy it. So eject it, put another one in, or if you're smart, you load it with a gigabyte disc and have it copy it. It has, I think, 50 gigabytes available for you to use any which way you feel. So you have your 6-disc DVD changer, and you have the hard disk, hard drive. Also, I wanted to mention that this vehicle actually, now you can see the disc changing, 5, 6. But I wanted to mention that this vehicle actually has the ability to play your DVDs up here. A lot of people fail to mention that in your reviews. You can either watch it in the luxury seat in the back or the executive seat, or you can watch your DVDs right here in the front seat. And obviously you have, well, maybe not so obviously to everyone, but there's 19 speaker sound system in the vehicle. I honestly haven't found all the speakers, or if I have, I count 20 speakers, so I'm missing something. I don't understand. This is a speaker here. You have 2 in each of these, and then you have speakers in the door panel, speakers everywhere in this vehicle, and it's very, very therapeutic sound when you're checking out the let me turn that off before I get in trouble with the copyright stuff. All right, so you have a grab handle here that has wood on it. I think that's pretty doggone cool. You have a wooden steering wheel with extremely fast heating sides panels if you want them. The side panels heat and the wood does not heat, but that is very, very comforting when it's cold and you tell it to warm up and it warms up in a heartbeat. Doug went over these. Doug DeMuro's video, did a great job in the video. Check it out if you get a chance. Doug DeMuro, Lexus 600, did a great job on it. Went over these already, being able to move and adjust however you see fit when you get in. One thing that was forgotten about, or just not mentioned because of time, like I said, it's an enormous amount of things that a vehicle can do. But one thing is that the rear seat actually has an adjustable feature. It can be very movable here, and you can put it there. So if you're in a suit, sometimes you don't want to be harassed. You can pull this out and make sure that the suit is not going to be harassed by the seatbelt. So that's a cool feature. And the one more feature that was mentioned or may not have been understood all that well. This particular model has the ashtray and it comes out. So you can smoke your cigars and have an ashtray, dump them outside and do what you have to do. And it's all wood grain. So that's just a really, really cool touch on Lexus's part. Back to that table, I like incense back here. And the table rotates. But a cool thing, Doug is also, like myself, 6'4", I believe. So as far as the table not being on your side, it's actually a blessing because your knee would bang into the table if it was on your side. So you don't always have to have your knees in this position. You can press a button and have a lot more room to relax, which would bring your knee down, and then you could use your table. But I think they were just looking out for us tall people when they did us like this with this table, because I mean, even in some really nice airliners, your knees when you're tall can get in the way of your relaxation. So I'm not upset at all about the table not being on both sides. It's good to be able to get the table away from you and still have a table. You know what I mean? So that's actually a feature, not a negative for me on that one. You've got the push button curtains. And of course, as mentioned in many videos, it does both curtains. Not always mentioned is even the rear seats have a wooden grab handle. Also not mentioned often is the fact that there is a hook for your suit. This is mentioned with the effect. You have air conditioning here. You have air conditioning here. You have air conditioning here, all for the same driver or passenger. This is often overlooked, but there's air conditioning here. This is actually dropping cascading cold air onto the passenger in this seat. A lot of people mistake this for just being a speaker or being a speaker, but this is freezing cold air right now coming out. As you can probably tell, I'm in Miami, or not Miami, but I'm in Florida, so it's warm. You also have a air ventilation system here. You have two speakers there, one there and one there, for that 19 speaker system. There's a subwoofer here, maybe more than one, but definitely a subwoofer here. You can vibrate this whole car with the speakers that it has. Excellent music. You have a DVD player back here, and you have a compartment for whatever you want to put back here. I actually have some cigars. And you have your massage, which he went over. You also have video out. So that's really cool. It's an old school feature, but still really cool because there are so many adaptations that have been made over time for that. You have your 12 volt lighter. So you got your standard household outlet down there. You can plug in a stove top, cook yourself some eggs in the morning if you choose. All right. This is infrared for the headphones. A lot of people call that Bluetooth headphones, but from my experience, I had a Sony with infrared, and this is identical setup where you can actually see the infrared radar shooting out. And I don't believe these are Bluetooth because, like my Sony TV, which had infrared, when you go past this point with these headphones on, they cut off. You have to be in the rear to use these headphones. And to my understanding, only infrared had that kind of technology. So you have infrared here, and then you have your the movie playing. That's actually one of my favorite movies up there. Can't zoom in, but yeah, that was one of my favorites. That had Denzel in it. So yeah, that was a cool movie. And I think we've covered it. With me, I use, as you can see, you have memory seats in the rear and in the back. You also have heating in the back again, which I think this is ventilation, heating, and then air conditioning, cold. Also push button. I think that covers the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned. We've gone over the fact that it has an enormous number of speakers. Memory seats. It has the ability to stop the seat from going back to a safe position upon exit by pressing that. And then you have memory seat. Now my seat's moving back to the memorized location. But when you get out, the seat returns to a position which allows you to get out easier. But you can press this button to stop that from happening when you get in and out of your vehicle. I wanted to also talk about this feature, which is the light, which will light up for you when you're getting out of the vehicle. We already talked about the light that lights up when you're getting into the vehicle. This one lights up when you're getting out of the vehicle, so you can not step into anything. This light here, this emblem on the ground, that was an aftermarket thing put on the car. Also want to talk about this button here, which is the hold button. That button allows you to not have to sit with your foot on the brake when you drive, especially in traffic. Once you come to a full stop, you can take your foot off the brake. The car will hold until you put your foot on the gas pedal. Just a convenience feature. This thing is a light. I'm not sure if you can see the light here. Just to let you know where your handle is at. If there was total darkness in the car, you could see where the handle is at. Just very strange features. They go on and on and on, and just don't seem to stop with this car. So many features. Most luxury cars will give you a kit for your back. This one gives you a full-size spare tire, and not only that, it actually tells you 5 tire pressures. It'll tell you the pressure of the spare tire in the trunk. So if you want to know, like I just came from Georgia, it was kind of cool, to Florida, and I want to know if the tires are still in good shape with respect to the change in pressure and temperature, whatnot. You can check all your tires, including the spare. I've never heard of that also. Most luxury cars won't even give you a spare tire. And that's a full-size spare tire with a rim on it. With the rim, not the metal hub-looking rim, but the real actual rim like you have on all your other tires. All right, I want to step into the back seat real quick again, and because I forgot to go over just one thing, the refrigerator. So let's check that out real quick, and that will bring this video to an end. We're not going to be able to show you these lights. There they go. It won't let me stay on it. As far as the table goes, if the table is like this computer recognizes it, and you can go back and forth with your seat. It's just when it's this way where it will block you from going back and forth. So not only does it know that the table is up, it knows what direction the table is pointed, which is insane. And I did not showcase the refrigerator in the back. There's no way for me to show you the temperature, but it's cold. It gets ice cold. A lot of people aren't aware that you have to have the 4-zone climate control activated. Once you have the 4-zone climate control activated, it automatically turns the refrigerator on. So it's really a 5-zone climate control in the vehicle. And that will bring the video to an end. Thanks for watching another episode of Watching Shoes. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscriptions. I'll see you all on another episode in the future.